Hey Jen, thanks for your email. Unfortunately, not really feeling like quiz news today. ... Can we do Chipotle instead? Question mark. Smiley face. Thank you. Send. Hey Michaela, so I just noticed that I have 2 appointments tomorrow at 2:30. Obviously, as wonderful as I am, I cannot be in 2 places at once. So you're gonna need to cancel one, or preferably both of those. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day. And you must be my next appointment? Yeah, you're interviewing for that position that we posted last week? Awesome. Well, nice to meet you. My name is Alexx Rose. And why don't we start, looks like I already have your resume pulled up here. And I have my notepad and a wonderful long list of questions. I'll probably skip around a little bit. I might not even ask all of these. I'll kind of just see how things go as we go along. I guess I should probably start by telling you a little bit about this position, though given that you applied, you probably, I would assume, read the job description. But this position is a Monday through Thursday position, 10 hours per shift, so 40 hours a week. And then once a month you will be on call for a 5-hour shift either on Friday or Saturday, and that will all be scheduled ahead of time. Again, that's just 1 extra day a month, and that will come out on the monthly schedule, so there shouldn't be any surprises there. Do you have any questions, I guess, before we get started? Okay, well then I will go ahead. As you know, I have my notepad here, so if I'm looking down while you're speaking, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just processing what you're saying and then making some notes for myself for later, okay? Awesome. So first question is, why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Okay. Okay, yeah, that's pretty common, I think. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. I'm not super familiar with that, but I do hear that that is a pretty complex and important work, so that sounds great. Do you have any hobbies? Okay. So what is your understanding of this position and the responsibilities related to this position? You'll definitely be doing a lot of that, for sure. So we don't do as much interacting with the public as you might think. A little bit, yes, but typically this is behind the scenes work. Are you okay with that? Okay. And have you ever had a job similar to this one, or a job with responsibilities similar to this one? Okay, we don't have any cats or strawberries here, so I'm not sure that that is super applicable, but I'm sure you've learned a lot through that experience, and you think you can apply those things here? All right. And then, excuse me, what skills are you hoping to gain, or what are you hoping to learn from this position? Okay. Okay, so you kind of already have some background knowledge, and you just would like to build upon that a little bit more in a larger, more corporate setting. Okay, for sure. And one thing I will say about this company is there are definitely a lot of opportunities for promotions and lateral movements, given, of course, that you've been here long enough and you are qualified for the job or position you're trying to move to. But I do think this is a really good starting. This position here would be a good entry-level position for someone if they'd be wanting to move up. Definitely. Excuse me. Okay. Just wanted to double check something on your resume. So it is showing that you are currently employed, is that correct? Okay, and you've been there for how long? Okay, so not too long, but long enough. What is making you look for another position? Okay, yeah, I think that's a fairly common answer that a lot of people who have interviewed for this position actually have given, but that has definitely been one of my reasons multiple times in the past when I was switching from position to position, so I understand where you're coming from. Okay. So given that you are currently employed, can you walk me through kind of your daily routine in your current position? Mm-hmm. Alright, could you repeat that last part you said? You said the paperwork and the what? Okay. Thank you. And are you full-time, part-time right now? So here at this company, we do a lot of large, complex projects simultaneously. We have many teams here, and none of them are ever doing one thing. So given that, how do you stay organized and manage your time effectively? I know everyone is different. Some people make lists, some people put reminders on their phone, some people do something else, or a combination of those things. So how do you best stay organized? Yes, I am definitely a list person myself. Hate to admit it, but sometimes I will write simple tasks on my list just so I can get that satisfaction of crossing them off and making myself feel like I've accomplished something for the day. So it's very easy to get caught up in work here and fall behind or feel like you're not accomplishing everything that you should, because honestly some things just come up. And as you get to work with the other members of the team here, if you're not getting your daily tasks done because you're slacking off or some other illegitimate excuse, then of course you'll get in trouble for that. But if something serious came up or there is some other issue you had to handle and you weren't able to get through all of your tasks, the team is pretty understanding and willing to help you out with the things you couldn't get to. I mean, obviously don't rely on them to do your work for you, but yeah, very, very supportive team we have here. With the work we do, we have no choice but to rely on each other. So, all right. So speaking of managing your time and working multiple projects at once, kind of sort of a follow-up question or a question related to uh, time management. Tell me about a time you thought you would miss a deadline. And don't say that you've never missed a deadline, because I know that's not true. Or if you've never missed a deadline, you've at least come close to missing a deadline at least once. I am perfect, and even I've almost missed deadlines. So, tell me about a time you thought you would miss a deadline and what you did about it. Okay. I definitely think that is a difficult situation, but it sounds like you were able to handle that pretty well. Um, so, as I said, we have a lot going on at this company. It's very complex, very busy. So, how do you handle stress? Well, I can appreciate your honesty for sure. So then, what sort of things do you do either at work or in your free time to relieve some of your stress and to try to keep a work-life balance? Mm-hmm. That sounds like fun. Anything else you like to do to help manage your stress? Okay, just so I know I'm understanding you correctly and recording my notes correctly, you go running, uh-huh, and that's multiple miles, like more than one. Okay, okay. Um, I mean, that's not gonna automatically disqualify you from this position, but okay, we'll just move on. So, what do you think makes a team function successfully? Okay, and what do you do if you're working on an important project and two of the team members are significantly disagreeing on what the next step should be? Okay, thank you. All right, and then would you say that you work better individually or on a team, or does it kind of depend on the project? Depends on the project. All right, so then, what is a sort of project that you would prefer to work on individually, and then what is something that you would prefer to work on as a team? And how do you handle constructive criticism? Fairly well. That's what they all say. But I mean, some people do handle it well. When someone gives you constructive criticism, do you tend to consider what they have to say and change what you're doing, or is it just kind of in one ear, out the other? Depends on how confident you are in what you're doing. Okay. Alright, so tell me about a time you faced a conflict at work and how you addressed it and kind of what the outcome of the situation was. Okay. Follow-up question. Can you tell me about a time you faced a conflict at work that you weren't responsible for starting? That's okay. No, that's okay. Just wanted to kind of clarify what my question was so I can make sure I get a proper answer from you. Alright, so my next question was going to be describe a mistake you made at work, how you handled it, and what you learned from that experience. But given your first answer to the question I just asked you, I think we kind of covered that already. So, almost to the end of our wonderful list of questions here. What motivates you at work? Do you like Chipotle? What's your opinion on Quiznos? I didn't know they still existed either, but here we are. Alright, what are the essential qualities of a good employee? Okay, and what do you think are the essential qualities of a good supervisor? Alright, and then my last question is, how would your current or previous coworkers describe you? Why do you think they would say that last one? Okay. Alright, let me just check to make sure I have your completed application. I believe I do, otherwise you probably would not have gotten this far in the interview process. Let me see. It looks like I have your resume, your application, and your references here. If we do decide to move you on to the next round of interviews, we will be checking those references prior to scheduling that next interview. So do you have any questions for me? Good question. So my position is different than the position you're applying for, but my favorite part of my job is sitting at my desk, ordering Chipotle, and drinking tea. Sometimes I'm really bored, I'll check my emails, or show up to meetings, or talk to people on the phone. But typically it's Chipotle and tea. My friend a few departments over sends me cute animal videos on TikTok. I watch those a lot. So yeah, I think that's my favorite part of my job. Any other questions? Yeah, so parking is limited here, but the employees can park on the east side of the building, or they can park in the open lot across the street, kind of down the block a bit, and take the bus over. Alright, anything else? Well, it was so nice to meet you, and I hope you have a good day, and we will be in touch within the next week or so regarding your application status. Alright, have a good day. Hey, Jen. Why did I just get a Quiznos order confirmation? Question mark. Question mark. I really wanted Chipotle. Didn't think it would be that much inconvenience. Chipotle is only 27 blocks away. ... We could have just sent an intern. ... Not really sure where the intern is now that I mentioned it. Anyway, can you please add a lemonade or iced tea onto the business order? Question mark, question mark. Smiley face. Thank you. Send.